Alright, boys, back in the video here talking about why Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green are going to be the best 1 and 2 guard duo in the league in the future and what they can do together when combined in the league when obviously if we draft Jalen Green in the future. So what's up? My name is JC. If you guys get the video, drop it below, press subscribe button, and let's get into the video. So for the past few days, man, I think I've been really leaning to Jalen Green over Evan Mobley, man. I mean, a lot of people are making a lot of good comments, a lot of good points on why we shouldn't draft Evan Mobley, why Jalen Green is obviously the better choice over Evan Mobley, and honestly, I'm seeing it too. I mean, Jalen Green, he's absolutely amazing. I was watching some clips of him earlier today, just in the G League, balling out, man, and that athleticism beside Kevin Porter Jr. is going to be absolutely amazing. Obviously, both of them are really close friends, man. I mean, I think it was Jalen Green's story, man. I mean, Kevin Porter Jr. was there. He said, "Don't tell him too much," with a bunch of emojis, man. So I think it's pretty clear that the Houston Rockets might get Jalen Green, and I'm honestly pretty excited for the first game of the season if we got Jalen Green, because Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green, that's an absolutely electrifying duo. But for the most part, obviously, Jalen Green isn't going to be starting while John Wall is here. So for the most part, we're probably not going to see Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green on the same lineup in the starting lineup for right now. But obviously, like in the future, if we decide to move John Wall, then I guess we could have Jalen Green at the 2, KPJ at the 1. Obviously, that 1-2 duo right there. So my first point is Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr., they're both really athletic, man. So for the most part, like Jalen Green, he can actually finish around the rim really well. He can dunk the ball. He's pretty athletic, pretty quick. Same thing with Kevin Porter Jr. Like they're both really similar play styles. I mean, Kevin Porter Jr., he's a lefty. Obviously, Jalen Green, he's a righty. But they both can dunk the ball. Both are very athletic, both very fast. I mean, both can definitely shoot the ball at a pretty high clip too. I mean, Kevin Porter Jr., although he didn't shoot the 3-ball well this year, he shot it at around 31% from 3. But Jalen Green, he shot the 3-ball at around 37% from 3, which is pretty good. So they can honestly improve their shooting, their 3-point shooting at best, but for the most part, they can get to the rim at ease. They can both play make at a pretty high level too. I mean, Jalen Green averaged 3 assists in the G League. Kevin Porter Jr., obviously, he did average 6 assists in the NBA this season. So they can both pass the ball to each other well. I mean, they can both play off each other well. If Jalen Green can play off ball, Kevin Porter Jr. can play off ball. Steven Silas could use one of them as a spot-up shooter. Maybe run Jalen Green at the 1 and then Kevin Porter Jr. at the 2. I mean, there's just so much things you could do with this lineup. I mean, they're just both versatile. The thing that's probably going to be the most concerning with this duo is their defense. I mean, they're both not really known for the defense, especially Kevin Porter Jr. I mean, he's a pretty decent defender, but not a really good defender like a Jae'sean type of player. Same thing with Jalen Green. I mean, I don't know too much about his defense. I know a lot about his offense, but for the most part, not really too familiar with his defensive game. But for the most part, it doesn't look too bad, I guess, but it doesn't look too good. So they definitely could improve some but perimeter defense. Just get that up a little bit more. But for the most part, like, this is gonna be a really good, really high scoring duo. Just imagine KPJ scoring 15, 11 in one game, and then just like Jalen Green, I mean, probably in one game, I think he could get at least like 40 in one game. Maybe this season, actually, if we decide to draft him, he can definitely get into maybe like a 40 and 10 type of game at best, I want to say. So for the most part, like, I'm pretty high on Jalen Green, man. Athleticism, man. Someone that can finish around the rim, someone that can dunk the ball. I think he'd be really good alongside Kevin Porter Jr. I mean, they have a really good chemistry right there. Alongside KJ Martin too. I mean, that's a really good young core right there. Jae'Sean Tate, and then obviously Christian Wood, man. So for the most part, that's a really good starting 5 right there. But Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green, they both have really good chemistry with each other. And honestly, like, it would be really cool to see them ball out with each other, man. And honestly, like, it would be really hype every game. I mean, Houston Rockets fans, for the most part this season, weren't really engaged because we were really bad. I mean, we started off the season 11 and 10, but after that, we fell off. James Harden trade. Obviously, we got Kevin Porter Jr., traded Victor Oladipo, went on that 20-game losing streak, and for the most part, we played without a full man rotation in around the last month, I want to say. So, for the Rockets fans, man, if you decide to get Jalen Green, it's going to be hype every game for Houston Rockets fans. Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green, it's going to be absolutely hype. We're probably not going to be able to win a ton of games next season, but I mean, it's Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green. Jalen Green could develop into a really good player for us if we give him more minutes. I mean, who are we giving minutes to? I mean, Eric Gordon off the bench, if we decide to keep him. Kyrie Thomas, Armani Burks, those guys. We're probably gonna let DJ Wilson walk. Probably gonna let Cam Oliver walk. We're gonna have DJ Augustine here. Fuck. I mean, we have Avery Bradley, but he's gonna walk. Dante Exum. Yeah, there's a lot of players on the bench, man, to go around. I mean, whoever we draft, man, there's gonna be limited minutes for them because John Wall, obviously, KPJ, Jae'Sean Tate. We're probably gonna bring back Kelly Olynyk and then Christian Wood, man. So like that starting five right there is gonna be taking up most of the minutes, and then obviously off the bench, Eric Gordon, our sixth man, gonna be taking up most of the minutes, and then probably Jalen Green, probably Kyrie Thomas, DJ Augustine, I don't know, man. So probably like Daron Sharp. Like we gotta like there's a lot of factors putting into the type of minutes each player is getting, but for the most part, I'd really want Jalen Green to at least get a ton of minutes in his first year. I mean, Kevin Porter Jr. in his first year, he got basically 32 minutes a game, which is pretty good compared to last season, which was 26.3. But obviously, he was coming off the bench last year. So for the most part, I think Jalen Green deserves around like 30 minutes at best, man. I mean, he could definitely get to around 30 minutes, 25 minutes around there to get that development started right there. So for the most part, Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green, man, like that's an absolutely electrifying duo. We all think we all know that, man. I watched the game in the G League where they both versed each other, man. That was a really good game. Even though RGV basically blew out G League Ignite, but for the most part, really good game to watch. They both combined for 50 points. Absolutely young core right there, man. I think this is a really good playoff team right here, possibly a championship caliber team if you get the right pieces, man. I mean, I think we need a good solid center, really good center. I mean, Christian Wood, I mean, as good as he is, man, I don't see him being our center moving forward. Even though Silas said he wants to go smaller and younger, I just think Christian Wood's better used at the power forward, man. I really do. So for the most part, I think we should get a good center. Daron Sharp's a good name in this draft, but I don't think he's going to be a star potential. JT Thor's another name going out there, but I don't think he's going to be a star either. Maybe borderline star for JT Thor, but Daron Sharp probably not. So for the most part, I think this team could be a championship caliber team if you get the right pieces. Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr., if they develop really well, they could be a really good duo right there. I don't know, man. I'm just really excited for the Houston Rockets' future, and hopefully Rafael Stone does what he does best, which is getting the players that we need on this team. So honestly, those are my thoughts on Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green, and hopefully we draft Jalen Green. So that's in the video. To get the video, drop in below, press subscribe button, and I'm out. Peace.